All right, 8th graders, we're going to start looking at some Robot C. What I have out here is my test bed. I showed you this yesterday. I showed you the Cortex. I showed you that we got two motors. They go in the motor ports 1 and 10 on the right side of the Cortex. We have our two analog switches, the potentiometer and the line follower. What else did I call it? Line follower. Then they go in the analog port up at the top, and then we have our two digital sensors, the push button and the trigger switch, and they're in digital 1 and 2. Push buttons in digital 1, limit switches in digital 2, potentiometers in analog 1, line follower or light sensor, that was the other one I was looking for. Line follower or light sensor is an analog 2. I'm telling you all that because when we go to configure our program, we have to put these in a certain place. So I'm going to show you how to get started on Robot C and how to set up your motors and sensors. So let me minimize this. So on my desktop, I'm looking for Robot C for Vex Robotics. Haven't had this open in a while. I hope my computer's going to work. It's not as powerful as Autodesk Inventor, so if you remember last year with Autodesk Inventor, how long it took to open, this opens up a little bit quicker, but there are a few steps we need to go through. If it asks you to update anything, let's not do that. We're going to let the technology department deal with the updates. So we should be ready to go. I'm going to go to Robot. So there's a Robot pull-down menu right here, and I'm going to go over to Platform Type. I want to make sure that I am in Natural Language. And I also want to make sure that it is Vex Robotics 2.0. So Platform Type is going to be Natural Language, Vex 2.0 Cortex. So we should be okay there. I like double checking to make sure those are on. We're going to go up to Vex Cortex Communication Mode, and we've got to make sure it's set to USB only. That means we're going to communicate with our test bed through a USB port. So we make sure that that's on USB only. Now we're going to go to File, and we're going to open a sample program. And in Sample Program, you should find a pltw folder, a Project Lead the Way folder. And in that folder is a template. We're going to open that. Okay, so our screen changes a little bit here. Now what we want to do is we want to save this. We want to do a File, Save As. Make sure you save it in your folder on the H drive. Do not call it pltw template. Let's just call it test bed for now, which I already have one of those, so it's going to ask me if I want to replace. Yes, I'm going to replace that. I'm starting over. Okay, so what we have a template set up. We're in Natural Language, pltw, Vex Cortex 2.0. Communication is USB only. It's asking for some notes up here. Project title. We're going to call it Test Bed. Team members. It's just me. You'll want to put your group members there. If they're not helping out, wake them up. Tell them, say, you got to help out if you want your name on this. Put in today's date. And section. I'm in period 6 right now. Okay, it asks for a task description. We're going to run a motor after a button is pushed. These are just notes to help guide you as you write a program. Run a motor after a button is pushed. Pseudocode, that is kind of like a hybrid language between you and the computer. And we're going to learn about some commands here in a moment, but for pseudocode, we're going to push a button, and right motor will run for half speed at 10 seconds. So this tells us we're going to make a program where we push the push button digital sensor. The right motor is going to run for half speed at 10 seconds. Let's save this just to be safe. All right, now we got to set up some motors and sensors. So I'm going to go robot, and I'm going to go motors and sensors setup. Let's start with motors. Now, if you remember, I used ports 1 and 10 for motors. Let's see what we have where. So right motor is in port 1, left motor is in port 10. Let's set that up in motors and sensor setup. So right motor, R-I-G-H-T. Now you have to capitalize the second word. No spaces, capitalize the second word. Why you have to do that, I cannot answer that. Robot C makes you capitalize the second word. Now, the motors we are using is VEX 393. We're not going to reverse them or do anything silly with them. We're just going to name them and tell what motor type they are. So port 10 is left motor. If you put these in the wrong port, let's say you put something, let's say we told the computer that we have these in ports 1 and 10, but then on our Cortex, let's say we have them plugged into 2 and 3, you go to run the program, nothing's going to happen. If you see that nothing's communicated, that means you probably plugged things in the wrong place. All right, we're going to apply these. Uh-oh, what happened down here? Let me type that back in. I don't know why that went away. Maybe I had it highlighted, or I think I forgot to put VEX 393. All right, now we'll apply. And what you'll see is up here at the top of my computer program in Robot C, it's identified that those are the motors I'm configuring. All right, let's go to analog sensors. Let's see what I have where. Potentiometer is in analog 1, and line follower is in analog 2. So I have potentiometer in 1, and I have line follower in 2. And I'm just going to name it potentiometer, capitalize that second word, and line follower, capitalize that second word. We'll go ahead and apply those. Let's see at the top. All right. So there's our potentiometer and our line follower. All right, let's go to digital sensors. And let's see what we got. We got push button, digital 1, trigger switch, digital 2, or limit switch. Either one. So push buttons in 1, limits in 2. These are both touch sensors because you touch them. Push button, capitalize the second word. Don't know why, but you have to capitalize the second word. And we'll call it trigger switch. And apply. Okay, now we're going to hit OK, and let's see what our screen looks like. All right, so now we've started a program. It's identifying our digital sensors, our analog sensors, and our motors. We've kind of talked about what our code is going to be. We've done our description. We've done it in pseudocode. We've talked about our project title. And we've identified what period we are. So now we can look at a simple program. We're going to go over here and expand natural language, sensors, and sound. Let's check our platform type one more time. Natural language pltw. Okay, I thought something didn't seem right. It seemed like we got bumped out of that. So I switched it back around. So we got movement and intel and weight. Those are the three big ones we're going to be looking at. And we will save this for tomorrow's video. So what we've done today is we looked at our test bed. We looked at where everything was plugged in at. We opened up a template and we saved it as a new file in our student drive. We configured our motors and sensors, and we're ready to drag and drop some programming. So I'm going to save that for another video. Hopefully you have a test bed that you can work with, like this one. Each group's will probably share these across different class periods, so hopefully you found a test bed you can work with, and that you've got your template set up, saved to your H drive. And so until next time, good luck.